Do you really want to know how to learn the bundle branch blocks? Well, you come to the right place. So what you need to know is the mechanism of how the impulse travels through the septum to the ventricles. All right, you have to know it. All right, this isn't a negotiation. All right, so in the bundle branch blocks, the word bundle comes to mind. The bundle of His. Okay, one bundle, two bundle. Okay, what happens if it's a right bundle branch block? Guess what? The right one is offline. If it's a left, the left one is offline. Well, a better word would be delayed because it does come back online after a while. Okay, so it's a delay. It's a delaying action. Before we start, as always, here is something to keep your mind somewhat informed prematurely, all right? So this should give you some indication of what to look for when looking for bundle branch blocks. Okay, when you think of right, think of a double peak or a depression. When you think of left, think of double down and bunny ears. Okay, double peak and depression for right, double down and bunny ears for left. We will get into why this is the case, but let's focus on the physiological movement of the impulse. You have to know it. If you do, it'll make so much sense. Now, first of all, we are not concerned with the atrium. All right, just get out of your head. Our journey starts at the AV node. Now, our friend, our impulse, travels physiologically from left to right. After that, the wave moves down the bundles to the ventricles. Now what you need to know is there is a constant tug of war between two guys and their lust for the impulse. Now, this guy always wins because he's got all this muscle to work with, whereas this one hasn't got too much muscle to work with. Okay. However, they both get a slice of the pie. However, this guy gets more. So he's going to have a stronger contraction than this one. Okay. So they both contract. They're both relatively happy. Okay, they're both relatively happy. Now, when you have a bundle branch block, one of the ventricles is not contracting, at least initially. All right. So let's figure out why. Now, with the right bundle branch block, okay, the septal depolarization is normal. So we still have a left to right septal depolarization. What you need to know is V1 and V6 and their function. Why do we have V1? Why do we have V6? V1 is responsible for any pathology we may find in the right side of the heart, and V6 is for the left. So let's just focus on the right bundle branch block. Let's look at V1 in the perspective of V1. Now, this is what happens in right bundle branch block. We have a normal septal depolarization. Then the wave will travel towards the left only. Why? Because the right one is offline. It's delayed. It's not working right now. So this bundle isn't working. This one is working though. This one is working. So we are going to get a contraction in the left ventricle. the wave will travel towards the left ventricle first. Alright, I'm gonna make it a bit bold. So what happens when a wave moves away from its perspective lead? Negative deflection, of course, you guys already know this. If it moves towards, it's a positive deflection, okay? So how will this look? Alright, so I'm going to give a little draft. Okay, so I'm going to just draw an isoelectric line. So this is the perspective of V1 over here. Alright, this is a V1 perspective. So what did I say? The septal depolarization is normal. So if it moves from left to right, what does that mean? It means a positive deflection, as you'll see here. Okay, positive deflection. What happens then? This guy has gone offline, and this guy is pulling all of the impulse to his side. What's that gonna mean for the impulse here for this waveform? Is there's gonna be a negative deflection. So then what happens? Well, this guy decides to wake up and he demands for his impulse back. He wants it back. So this guy, he basically agrees. He gets his impulse back. He gets it back. What's gonna happen if a wave moves towards its perspective lead? We're gonna get a positive deflection. Alright, then everything comes back to normal. We repolarize, and that is your V1 perspective of right bundle branch block. Okay, now if you remembered my little wording I've put here to give you some perspective, what have I written here? Double peak. Can you see it? One peak, two peak, double peak, right bundle branch block. That's your first indicator to finding what is the right bundle branch block, at least for V1. But we have depression. Where does this come in? Well, this is for V6. Now let's focus in the perspective of V6, but we're still focusing on the right bundle branch block. Okay. Let's do the same. We still have the same movement of the impulse, but now we're focusing from the perspective of V6 now, okay? We're now looking at V6 in the perspective of V6 now. Let's draw the same isoelectric line here. Okay, there we are, let's keep it straight. Now, what did I say? Septal depolarization goes from left to right. What's happening here? The wave is moving away from V6. What's that going to mean? It's going to mean a little, little negative deflection here. Okay. Then what happens? There's a big movement towards V6 as the right one is offline. Right bundle branch block. The right one's offline. The left one gets all of the pie. Positive deflection. Oh, let's make it more steep. Positive deflection. Then right one comes back online. Alright. He wants the wave back. Alright, give him the wave back. And then we get to this. okay? We get this overshoot here, this S wave, okay? This is your depression. This is your identifying factor for right bundle branch block in the perspective of V6. Go back to our little wording here. Depression. Double peak and depression. V1, V6, V1 double peak, V6, depression for right bundle branch block. Okay. So you get this little depression here through the septal depolarization. You get the large increase, positive wave deflection as the wave moves towards the online initial V6, goes back towards the right, okay, and there's an overshoot. You don't need to know why there's an overshoot, okay, just know there is, and then you get this depression here. All right, so that was a right bundle branch block. All right, just to show you I am not lying to you, I'm going to show you. I'm going to hide left because I don't want to show you that yet. So look. Whoops, let's get the yellow. All right. So what do you see here in V1 for right? One peak, two peak, double peak. V6, you get depression. V6, depression. All right. So that's that. Now let's look at left. This is the more trickier one, but it shouldn't be too tricky. Now you know the fundamentals. So let's get rid of this. Okay. Let's get our bundle back. All right, now remember how I said the septal depolarization. Sorry, let me just get my V6 back. Okay, now remember when I said septal depolarization moves from left to right. Okay. This is physiologically and even pathologically when we have a right bundle branch block only. However, if we have a left bundle branch block, this rule goes out the window. What's going to happen now is the septal depolarization is reversed, going from right to left.